Hi everyone, it's Laura from Laura's Handcrafted Treats and Treasures. Welcome to or back to my channel. So I have something a little quick here. I wanted to post on my own page, as well as I'm going to be posting this on another page. This is from Carolyn's Musings, and she does lovely papers, all kinds of papers, a lot of Christian stuff, folios and stuff. So I will put all of her links in the description box below. But I had posted on her page that I had done these cylinders, and I used some of her paper. So I'll pop that picture in here real quick. And she asked me if I could do a tutorial showing how I did it. Well, I could not find the cylinders. It was something I had in my stash from literally years ago, 10, 12, I don't know. But it was the last of a group of like 6 that I had, and I don't remember how many I had. Anyhow, I did find something that I could use, and this is actually, it was a seasoning Italian seasoning tube, and I thought, okay, I can use this. I put my seasoning in a bag and thought this will work just fine. Now the inside does still smell a little bit like the seasoning, but nowhere near does it smell the way it did when I first emptied it, because what I did was I filled it with baking soda, and then I sort of shook it up, let it sit there overnight. Got the baking soda out, wiped it out really well, and then just left the lid off, which I'll probably just leave the lid off for a little bit longer. Anyhow, this seemed to work good. It was almost the size of the cylinders, maybe a little bit taller, which is fine. So the paper I am using is vintage scrapbook paper, and I have already picked out the one I want to wrap the cylinder with. Well, here it is. So it's pretty simple. You literally just cut your piece, your piece to the size of the cylinder, and literally just wrap it around. And then I also used, let's see, I used the Nativity, Christmas, ATC, and circles as well on this. I used it for the lid, which is going to be the same thing I'm going to do for this one. So let's go ahead and get this attached. And I basically just held it really tight, got it where I wanted it, and then you can use tape, or you can use glue, whatever you prefer. I like my art glitter glue. It holds everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw some on there. And I'm not going to put it all over the whole thing. I'm just going to throw this on there. Try to keep it straight so when I roll it back this way, it's straight. Okay, then I'm just going to roll it. And put my glue, I'm sort of holding it so it doesn't sort of bunch up. I'm going to just put more glue here. And roll that in. I'm just going to give that a good press. Now, art glitter glue sticks really quickly, and the more pressure you put on it, the better. It sticks quicker. It likes pressure. Okay, so we've got that done. And then, like I said, I did an ATC on the front, and I'm going to go ahead and do the top, which was called a rondelle. Okay, so this was one of the circles that came with the Nativity Christmas ATC and circle set. There were, like I said, the ATC ones, great for making cards. And then I have an extra piece left over from where I cut, and this is going to become like the, I think it's called rondelle is what I put on the other one. And normally what you need to do is just sort of measure from the center, only the one side, because this is going to be, say, an inch and a quarter to an inch and a half. And I have about an inch and a half here. It might hang over the edge a little bit, but I don't care about that. The other ones I made them more precise because they had sort of a beveled inside, and I sat them inside. But what we're gonna do is grab our scoreboard. And before I start scoring, let's see what's going to be my outside. It's not really going to matter, but I'm going to get one side all inked up so that once it's all scored, I don't have to do that. And I don't have to worry about the ends. Just one side. And this is just vintage photo. And then at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and get the circle inked up as well. Okay, so now we are going to score. This just isn't that difficult, but we're just going to score on my scoreboard. It's basically every 1/8 of an inch. Every blue mark I'm going to score. So I'm just going to start at the end and score all the way down. Now, some of you may have made these before. I don't even remember who taught me to make them. It's been years. What I did one time was I took double-sided scrapbook paper, and it was 4th of July or patriotic, and then I did a bunch of these, and then when I got them all together, I put little buttons in the middle and then glued them to the fork or the spoon that went in the dessert that I was making. So it just made for a nice little festive little treat with a rondelle. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. So I'm going to finish this up and then I'll be back. Okay, we're all done with the scoring. We can move this out of our way. And then all you're going to do is you're going to start going front to back with all those little score lines. And you just keep doing that. And you don't want to skip of any which way. Like if it starts to unravel, make sure you're folding it the way you're supposed to the next line, because if you don't, your line, they're not going to match up when you actually go to make the circle. Okay, once you have that done, you're going to have something that looks like this. Now, this may not be long enough to make a circle big enough for what I'm using it for, and it looks like it isn't. So I'm going to have to get another piece of paper and attach it, probably about half of this size, to get this to fold around the way I want and have the fullness to go on the top. So I'm going to get another piece of paper and add to this one. Okay, so I have done about half of the, would be the 11-inch side, cut it to the same size as this. I've inked this side, so when you're gluing them together, I mean, they can be inked afterwards, it's not a tragedy, but I'm making sure my inked sides are together, and then I'm going to glue one to the other. And again, I'm going to use the art glitter glue because it's just fast drying. Okay, so I'm going to get that glued in there. Just kind of smush them together. Okay. All right, before I start stretching on it, I'm going to let that set for just a second. I also, when I had to go run another piece of paper for that, I also decided I wanted a different round. So I think I kind of like this one. I think it just kind of goes a little bit better. This one would be nice. I like this one too, but I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm just getting out my 3-inch paper punch, which mine is getting a little rough. I've had it for a lot of years, and I might have to invest in another one, but I'm going to have to cut that down so that my punch can reach it. It doesn't like to always punch very nicely. All right, so I'm going to try to get it in there as best I can with no white showing. Let's see how I do. I can always ink it. All right, so I'm going to, yeah, I sort of have to finagle it. Like it doesn't always want to work. Oh, see? And then it kind of takes some chunks out, but that's okay. We're gonna make that work. So I'm gonna go ahead and ink this one up. Go a little bit heavier on the white part here so that it kind of looks like it's supposed to be that way. All right, now another thing that you can do, and I don't remember if I did it on the first one before I put this on, so I want to make sure it's in the front. You can always take a border, which I don't know, I might. Let me check my borders. See if I have one big enough. All right. Sometimes I tuck the big ones under here, but I don't see one. Maybe it's at the bottom. So another circle, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm having struggling with my words today. Okay, so let's see what I have under here. Oh, like the brown. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Now you can go ahead and do black, or you could do the red. Where's my red one? Well, that one's not big enough. Black. Okay. I kind of like the black one too. I don't know. I think it kind of makes the whole thing pop a little bit. But I think I'm going to stick with the brown one, because that one's more of the size that I need it. So I don't see another black one that size. All right, so I'm going to stick with that one. Sorry if that was all up in your face right there for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Now, yep, I'm going to glue this on. You could also put these up on like foam or dots to make it stand up, or you could do it on the actual container itself. So I'm just going to put this here. And then, I don't remember if I don't have the pictures right in front of me, and I don't have the canisters right in front of me because they're at church, because I'm giving them away as prizes. So, let's see. Yeah, I think I like that. So we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to sort of round this a little bit, sort of make it curved so that when I get ready to glue it on there, or do I want the foam? Oh, decisions. Oh, decisions. Oh, decisions. Nope, I think I'm going to leave it flat. So I'm going to get that little curve on there. I'll go ahead and get some glue on here. So if I did look on Amazon for some cylinders, and they had like a lot of the craft type cylinders. So I'm going to try to get this right on the center in the middle. So my seam is in the back. And just press that on. Anyway, but I didn't really see any that were going to be like the bigger ones. Because you can fill these with cookies or candies. It could be a, you know, a nice Christmas gift. You can also use a Pringle can, but I will tell you, you would need, I think, well, you might be able to wrap it long ways, but then you'd have to worry about your direction, or you may need to add 2 pieces of paper, or you could do a red strip on the bottom. I should have tried that. I might try that too. I didn't think of it until just now. They're great for the around it, but they're a little taller than your 8.5 by 11 paper. But now that I think about it, you could put a strip of brown at the bottom and finish off the top. I might do that. Okay, so now I have my paper ready to go, and I need to glue these 2 ends together. Okay, so I'm not going to really worry about getting it the way I need it until I get those 2 ends glued as well. They're a little bit time consuming, but I don't mind making them. I think they're cute when you get them done. Great for packages or bags, or, you know, anything like that, instead of just a regular old, you know, those, the bows that you buy in the store that, you know, aren't very attractive. Yeah, way better than that. All right, so I am going to take a piece of cardstock, and then I'm just making myself a little circle. I just need one, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to fold this in, making sure my ink is to the outside, but I need to do that backwards, okay? So I'm going to pull that in, and this is where you kind of got to hold it every which way but loose, okay? So we're just going to try to squeeze that in there, and then if my gun has heated up, I just take my hot glue gun, and I'm using a Bonders. I really like it. It was recommended by other crafters that I follow. So I'm going to push this in and just try to work it a little bit to spread it out. But I do want that circle to be kind of closed in there. Get that pressed down. And then you have this. But yeah, this is Bonder, and I really love it. It's the fine tip one. So I use it all the time. I don't think my other one has seen the light of day since. All right, so then I just grab one of my buttons. You know, if you're a crafter, we've all collected buttons. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go around here again and then try to fill that hole a little bit. Then I'm going to put that shank of the button right in that hole and press down until it is cooled and dried and glued. Okay, then we have our little topper, and that came out perfectly. I think it was like a 1 3/8 I measured, and look at that, just came out perfectly. Isn't that cute? So think about your cans and jars, and I mean a straight jar you could do the same thing with. So now I'm going to go ahead, and I don't know if this will burn the plastic or not, but we're going to go ahead and glue this on here. So now we have our lid. And then there's one little last embellishment, if I can find where I put it. Where did it go? Here it is. So I have, this is not from Caroline, it's from a different creator, but I know it has that bow on there, but I don't know if I want to put the bow now that I'm looking at it. You know what I think might be cute is a little poinsettia on the side. So I'm going to see if I can find one and then put that on the side here instead of the bow. So, okay, I did find a little poinsettia in my stash, a little flower, and I think I'm going to put that right there. And then we are going to call this done. Cute, super cute. I thought about putting it over top of that, but I didn't want to cover it. So yeah, isn't that cute? And I'm going to use this as maybe a gift and do some molasses cookies or some of my sugar cookies, but I'm going to leave this open, let that smell get out of there a little bit more. I might have to shake it again with a little more baking soda and let it sit for a while. But yeah, that's a little tip for you. The baking soda helps get rid of the smell. And if you ever bought like an old book that has sort of that musty smell to it, you can shake baking soda all over top of it, or yeah, baking soda. And if you leave it sit in the sun, it's even better. It helps get rid of that smell. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that and have a great day, everyone. Bye.